Ever feel like when you're shopping, your cart is like a moral compass, but it's gone kind of haywire? Like you see eco-friendly and you're like, is this just greenwashing?
Right.
Like it's confusing.
Yeah.
Well, good news. Today we're diving deep into conscious consumerism.
Okay.
We're going to go beyond the buzzwords. We're going to get into how to really make those purchases matter.
And what's really fascinating about it is how it's more than just swapping out your usual brands for that like green label. It's about, I think, realizing that every purchase has a story behind it.
Okay.
It starts with the people who made it and then the impact it has on the environment even after you're done with it.
It's kind of like flipping over that price tag and finding like a whole mini documentary.
Right.
Like suddenly your T-shirt isn't just about the fabric anymore.
Exactly.
It's about the factory. Like, were people paid fairly? That whole journey.
It's about connecting those values, the values you have, to what you spend your money on. Imagine if we knew the whole life cycle of everything we buy,
Right.
where'd the materials come from?
Yeah. Were the workers treated well?
What's the environmental impact going to be down the line?
Right.
That's really what conscious consumerism is all about.
So it's, I guess, less about being a perfect consumer, which is impossible,
Right.
and more about just even asking those questions.
Yeah, just being more mindful. I mean, we're all guilty of it sometimes, you just grab what you need and go.
Totally.
But with conscious consumerism, it's like that pause, to think about the bigger picture.
Hit the brakes a little bit on autopilot.
Exactly.
So like instead of automatically grabbing the cheapest thing,
Right.
maybe pause, think, is there a local option?
Yeah. Support businesses in your community. Or maybe, even if it costs a little bit more, go with less packaging. These choices, they add up,
Yeah. They do. Like that study we saw about reusable shopping bags.
Right.
Just making that one swap can save someone thousands of plastic bags.
It's true. It's amazing how these small changes on a personal level can make a difference. And, it doesn't have to be this huge, overwhelming thing.
Yeah.
Our sources had some really relatable examples of this in action.
Right. It's not like we all need to buy electric cars and solar panels.
Exactly.
It can be simple, like buying used clothes,
Yeah,
hitting up your local farmer's market,
absolutely.
or even just finally ditching those single-use plastics.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
And it's actually really cool to see how much this whole movement's growing,
Yeah.
Like, it seems like people are starting to get that our planet doesn't have infinite resources,
It's true.
and that maybe how we shop has something to do with that.
Absolutely. There's definitely a growing awareness that things like climate change, pollution, deforestation, they're all connected to how much we consume. But the good news is that people are getting more aware, and more demanding of the brands that they support. They want transparency.
And social media has been kind of a game changer for that, right?
Huge. Yeah.
It's given these ethical companies a way to actually share their stories.
Oh, totally.
But then it also holds those other companies, the ones with iffy practices, accountable.
Yeah. It's like they say sunlight's the best disinfectant. When these companies realize people are watching, that we're actually demanding better,
Yep.
they're more likely to make changes.
Makes sense.
And that leads us to something interesting, this whole idea of collective action.
Okay.
Because, you might be thinking, okay, my little shopping choices, can those really change, the entire world?
It's easy to feel like one tiny drop in a massive ocean.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
But the sources we looked at, they made a really compelling argument about how those individual choices, they ripple out.
Okay.
They can actually create a huge wave of change.
So how does that work?
Okay, imagine, millions of people choosing sustainable products, ethical companies. That's sending a huge message.
Yeah.
It's not just about corporate social responsibility anymore. It's about, can we even compete in this market if we don't do this?
Right. So it becomes about their bottom line.
Exactly.
So it's kind of a win-win. Consumers feel better because their money's going towards what they actually believe in.
Yes.
And businesses have to step up their game, which ultimately, helps everybody.
And speaking of feeling good, it's not just about that, warm, fuzzy feeling.
Yeah.
Our sources actually pointed out some other maybe unexpected benefits of being a conscious consumer.
Okay, like what?
It can be good for your health.
Okay, now that's a perk I can get behind. Tell me more.
Okay, so think about it. Choosing organic produce, natural cleaning products.
Yeah.
You're not just supporting better farming practices, you're also reducing how many chemicals you're exposed to.
And investing in yourself while also helping the planet out.
Exactly.
And sometimes those ethically made products, they're just better quality.
Totally.
They last longer.
Yeah.
So you save money in the long run.
It's true. Like the saying, buy well, buy once. But honestly, it goes beyond even that.
Okay.
It's also about that feeling you get, like a sense of purpose when your spending matches your values.
Yeah, yeah.
Supporting companies that treat their workers fairly.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge. You're basically advocating for social justice just with your wallet.
Yeah, it's bigger than just us, right?
Totally.
All these individual choices, they can actually reshape the whole marketplace.
Yeah, it's like we're all voting with our wallets, you know?
Mm,
We're supporting the businesses, the practices that we want to see more of.
I like that. It's really empowering when you think about it like that.
Yeah.
But I'm also wondering, some people listening might be feeling a little overwhelmed right now.
Sure.
How do you actually put all this into practice?
Right.
It seems like a lot to change.
Well, and that's a valid concern. Our sources definitely made sure to point out, you don't have to completely overhaul your entire life overnight, you know?
Okay, good.
It's about taking small steps, making gradual changes.
So it's more about progress, not perfection.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that. So what's a good starting point?
Well, maybe you start with just one meatless meal a week.
Okay.
Or, those fast fashion impulse buys. Maybe swap a couple of those out for something, higher quality, ethically made.
Yeah. Less but better.
Exactly. Or even, this seems so simple, but just commit to bringing those reusable bags to the grocery store every single time.
Every time.
Yeah, they just live in your car. Even those little things, they add up.
So it's about building momentum.
Exactly.
Once you've made a few of these changes, they become part of your routine.
It becomes easier.
It's not so overwhelming to make those conscious choices in other areas of your life.
And what's really cool is that often you end up inspiring the people around you.
Oh, that's nice.
Your friends, family, coworkers. Positivity can be contagious.
So as we wrap up this deep dive on conscious consumerism,
Yeah.
I want to leave everyone with a thought-provoking question.
I like it.
We've talked about how powerful our individual choices can be.
Right.
But what if we want to, really kick it up a notch?
Okay, yeah. What can we do?
How can we make an even bigger impact? Could you contact your local representatives about supporting more eco-friendly laws?
Absolutely.
What about starting a conversation in your community about supporting local businesses?
Yes. And remember, guys, every purchase, it's a vote.
Hmm.
You're voting for the kind of world you want to see. So vote wisely and never underestimate how much power your voice has to make real change happen.
I love that. Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive into the world of conscious consumerism. We hope you feel as inspired as we do to make choices that reflect your values and help us build a better future for everyone. And until next time, happy and conscious consuming.